Hello everyone, it's me, friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and welcome to my movie series, Nails in a Coffin. What I like to do here is I rate kills in horror movies using a scale of 1 to 4 nails in a coffin. We've all seen horror movies, so when the victims split up instead of sticking together to try and get away from the killer or to go find somebody, those dumb decisions, more times than not, lead to that person getting killed. So when dumb decisions are made by victims and it leads to them getting killed, those kills are going to get a rating of 1 nail in a coffin. We all know more nails are better, so the better the victim does to not get killed, the more smart decisions they make, the harder they fight, the more nails they're going to get. So, what movie do we want to talk about today? Seeing as how summer is about its end and fall is upon us, we're going to talk about Buddy Cooper's movie that came out in 1984, The Mutilator, also known as Fall Break. The first kill in this film happens just 1 minute into the opening. Ed Jr. wants to surprise his dad for his birthday, so he decides, hey, I'm going to clean all of my dad's guns. Mom is in the kitchen baking a cake, and little Ed is cleaning guns, which actually just consists of him wiping down the outside with the rag. But after he cleans one of his dad's guns, he pulls it up, looks down the sight, and for some reason pulls the trigger of the gun. Well, just so happens the gun was pointed into the kitchen where the mom was, and she gets shot in the back and dies instantly. Since the mom wasn't directly involved in her death, she's not going to get too many points off, but just for the fact that there was no supervision in this house, a gun safe with no lock on it, anything of the sort, she's definitely going to lose so points. So even though mom wasn't in any immediate danger or anything like that, she's only going to get 3 nails in a coffin for this first kill in the movie. After Ed Jr. realizes what he's done, he's leaning over his mom who's dead on the floor in the kitchen. Ed Sr. comes home. Ed Sr. walks into the kitchen. He's got some ducks in his hand. He just came back from a hunting trip, sees what had happened, doesn't speak any words. This whole opening doesn't have any dialogue to it, which I found kind of eerie the way it was played out. So like I said, he sees what happens, pushes his son away, just gives him a backhand across the face, and that's all he does right there. His next step is to take his wife, drag her into the living room, and pour himself a glass of scotch, have a sip, and quietly wait as we hear police sirens in the background. So what this movie's about is Ed Jr. and his group of friends are taking a fall break, and they go to the beach house to relax for a weekend, not knowing that Ed Sr. is there, and he's finally going to get his revenge on his son for killing his wife, and he starts picking off Ed Jr. and his friends one by one. So Ed Jr., his girlfriend, couples Mike and Linda, Ralph and Susan are up at Ed Jr.'s beach house for the weekend to enjoy their fall break. Big Ed's first kill happens right around 34 minutes into the film when Mike and Linda decide to go for a late night swim in this covered pool area. Now, when they enter this covered pool area, one of them mentions that the water looks kind of weird. And Mike is like, maybe it's just over-chlorinated. So the first time I watched this film, I was like, could Big Ed have done this in an effort to hurt somebody? Could over-chlorinating a pool actually cause some type of damage?
What's wrong with the water?
It looks like it's been loaded down with chlorine.
Will that hurt you?
Chlorine, eh?
Mike and Linda are swimming in the pool, playing games. It looks like they're playing hide and seek. They're looking for each other. Linda floating on her back, talking about how nice it feels in the water, just floating with their eyes closed. Well, as she does this, Big Ed comes up from underneath her in the water and drags her down and drowns her. Neither one of them, Mike or Linda, felt somebody else jump into the water. They didn't hear anybody else get into the water or even notice it. And Linda didn't really put up any type of struggle. And the kill was short. You didn't see a lot of it, but she didn't even feel anybody come up underneath her and pull her down into the water. So she really had no reactions when this happened. So for that instance, I'm going to give Linda 2 nails in the coffin because I know she could have done more to avoid it. Mike is next a few minutes later. Him and Linda, remember, they were playing in the pool looking for each other. Mike notices Linda's not in the pool anymore, so he gets out of the pool and starts looking for her. Big Ed, who had already killed Linda, kind of set up some breadcrumbs for Mike to follow. It was all of Linda's clothes. So it goes outside the pool into this covered garage area where Linda's panties are hanging on a doorknob. Mike's like, oh, she's in there. Cool. Well, as he opens the door, Big Ed surprises him with a boat motor. And as soon as he opens the door, the boat motor just turns on in an instant and guts Mike. I have a little bit of a problem with the kill because that motor just turned on instantly. Not like it was idling or anything. It just, from a dead silence, just turned on and the propeller started spinning. Mike didn't have a lot of time to react, but it just didn't sit right with me with no sound or anything before the motor took off. And Mike, again, just standing there when somebody standing in front of him with the boat motor swinging it at him, didn't move, didn't jump back, no reactions or anything. So for that case, Mike is going to get 3 nails in the coffin for his kill. The next kill happens at 45 minutes into the film when a police officer who's investigating a possible assault is walking around the beach looking around. He's down by these steps with a dock above him, can't find nothing, just looking around, see if anything is suspicious. All of a sudden, he turns around. Big Ed comes out of nowhere, stabs him in the face with what looks like a wooden fence post. Police officer falls to the ground, and then Big Ed cuts his head off. This is a weird kill because he turned around and Big Ed came out of nowhere, so he didn't see him or hear him approaching out of anywhere. So since there was a little bit of ambiguity with that kill, I'm only going to give the police officer's death 2 nails in the coffin. So before we get on to the next kill, I want to talk about this next part of the movie, which I just found hysterical. So the rest of the kids are playing blind man's bluff in the house. So they're walking around the house, acting like they can't see, trying to find each other. There is so much outside light coming inside this house, and it's very comical to watch these people feeling around, acting like they can't see when it's almost light at day outside with a lot of light coming inside. I don't know what they were trying to go for. I just felt that really funny that they're playing blind man's bluff in a really well lit house with light coming in from the outside. Ralph is the next to die. This happens about an hour into the movie. He and the other kids are starting to get worried because Mike and Linda haven't showed up yet. So they start looking around the house, looking outside, looking in the garage, seeing if they can locate them. Ralph thinks Mike and Linda are hiding in this closet in the garage, so he's going to nail it shut as a joke. Changes his mind, saying, hey, I'm not even that cruel. So he opens the door. It's not Mike and Linda. We all know who it is. It's Big Ed. And Ralph's got this look of shock on his face. Big Ed takes a pitchfork, stabs Ralph in the neck, thus killing him. Didn't have a lot of time to react. Ralph, granted, he knew guys were missing, but they didn't suspect any foul play, so to speak. But he did have that look of shock. And I understand there's a whole flight of fright, things that people go through, but I'm still only going to give him 3 nails in the coffin for this kill, since he was taken such by surprise and Big Ed was waiting for him. Ralph's girlfriend Susan is next, and she only lasts another extra 10 minutes than Ralph did. So about an hour 10 into the movie, these kids are really starting to get worried because they don't know what's going on and their friends are showing up missing. So what do? They do what everybody does in horror movies, that dumb decision, and they split up. So they split up. Susan is looking around. She comes around the corner. Big Ed grabs her by the throat. She doesn't scream or anything. Didn't like he was squeezing her throat too hard. She still has her arms, but she wasn't clawing at his face, doing anything. She was just kind of like wiggling a little bit. Big Ed drags her into the garage, puts her down on his work table, and guts her with his really large hook. I'm only going to give her 2 nails in the coffin because I didn't see her fight, really. She still had her arms, but she never used them. She could have scratched his face, clawed his eyes, screamed, grabbed for something, but she just did that thing that you see typical in movies where the victim just freezes and lets the killer do his or her dirty work. So Susan, again, is only going to get 2 nails in the coffin for her kill because I feel she could have done a lot more. She was surprised, so she's not going to get 1 nail, but still only 2 nails for Susan because she could have done a lot more if not for those stupid decisions like splitting up. Now we're at the climax of the Mutilator, and it's no one else but Ed Sr. himself. He's attacked Ed Jr. and his girlfriend. They're hurt really bad. They're in a car trying to get away. Ed Sr.'s trying to get in. He's ripping at the roof and everything, trying to get in the car to get some final kills. They burn his hand with the cigarette lighter that's in the car. It hurts him. He falls back, so then he's hanging onto the trunk. At this point, Ed's girlfriend, who is driving, throws the car in reverse and speeds really fast back into a brick wall. The impact doesn't kill Big Ed right away, but it does cut him in half. Big Ed is only going to get 2 nails in the coffin for his kill because he was too slow and methodic at the end, just trying to make a statement. If he had, been quicker, more swift with his actions, I think he could have lived a little bit longer. Not that we wanted him to. Another reason he's going to lose some points on his ranking is when a car was going back, he had time to roll off in either direction before the car hit a wall. So for those points, Ed Sr. is only going to get 2 nails in the coffin. Now, this is not the last act of violence in the movie. There is one more. By this point, police have shown up because their officer from earlier is missing. He hasn't checked in. So the cops show up right at the time when Big Ed is on the back of the car. He gets slammed to the wall and gets cut in half. So a police officer walks up to him to check what's going on. Somehow Big Ed is still alive, even though he's just an upper torso of his body. He grabs the cop's leg, and with one swift motion of an axe, cuts the cop's leg off. I'm not going to rank the cop because I'm assuming he lived. It wasn't a life or death injury, but that was just, to me, a comical way that the movie ended to give us one last stinger. So that's The Mutilator, otherwise known as Fall Break. I really want to thank each and every one of you who's taken the time to watch this video, to watch any of my videos. It really is appreciated. I'm having fun. I'm going to keep doing this. My next film is Sleepaway Camp. Good old Angela Baker. So we're going to see how the kills rate in Sleepaway Camp. Thanks again, guys, for checking out. Please give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me. So I'm your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails. Take it easy, guys.